One of the things that took me more than 10 years to learn as a leader, interestingly enough, that I know I can share and have you receive in the next 10 minutes, an understanding of project management and how it really works. That is, I believe, was life-changing for me. I'll say it that way, as a leader. Project management is something that we, as business leaders, as entrepreneurs, we tend to think of it as a unique role that like one person needs to do in an organization. So here's the very first thing. Every leader on the planet is going to do some project management. The reason is because things keep changing in businesses. Things keep changing. Even if your role doesn't involve projects like doing a big client project or something, even if it's your role is something like sales, there are going to be times where something needs to change in sales. And then we need to think about it like a project, because anytime you have something where you need a real new or big change result, it's going to be a project. I think of projects as having a beginning, an end, and a result. Okay, so if you're in sales and, for example, you need to do a better job of projecting what your sales are going to be in the next 6 months, you may decide that you all need to put in place a new sales pipeline. Did you need to track your prospects better? Some of you might already do it. You may need to change how you track your prospects even. I know there are people who were doing prospect tracking in spreadsheets for a very long time, and now they use those real CRM systems, right? Like Salesforce. Okay, so moving your spreadsheet to Salesforce is a project. And the end result is that you no longer use spreadsheets, you now use Salesforce. That's the end result that you're going for. And that end result on its own is actually not the important thing. I'm going to come back to that in a second, because the thing about projects, and like I said, there's, I almost think of it like not knowing how to do a project as a leader is kind of like not knowing how to do calculus as a mathematician. So you really do need to know how it works, because you do them. Okay, so here's the thing about projects. We think of them as and this is the thing that I really want you to get, right? That took me 10 years to really learn. Okay, so the thing that I really want you to get about projects is that a project is not a bunch of tasks. The tasks come after the thinking. And the very first thing that you need in project management is to organize your thinking, to organize why you're doing this project, to organize define what it needs to achieve to be successful, to, break it down into deliverables or sub-projects. Some projects are really big. They need sub-projects. To think ahead of time, what are going to be the challenges and can we do anything about those? To define how are we going to run this project? Is this is this something that we need to only take 5 minutes in our weekly meeting to check in on? Or is this something that, we need a meeting every 2 weeks because this thing is going to go a year long project? So those are things that we need to define up front before we start putting tasks into a project management system or into a spreadsheet. So project management, when you're the leader, the most important part is to define and organize and get onto paper your thinking. We call that process a project charter. It's making a project charter. And it's all about initiating a project, setting it up so that it could actually succeed. Because if I go back to my Salesforce example for a second here. The thing about changing your prospecting and putting it into Salesforce instead of a spreadsheet is that's not the thing we care about. Okay, the end result is actually not that we have our, the end result that we care about is not that we have everything working in Salesforce. The end result that we care about is that we are having more prospects convert into sales. That's what we care about. So as we're going along and doing this project, that's the thing that we need everybody to keep thinking about. And if we don't do a project charter up front, we have to rely on remembering to tell them every 5 minutes during the project of like, don't forget, what we're really going for here is that we convert more of these prospects to sales, right? That that right now we have a 10% conversion rate and we're thinking that when we get Salesforce, it's going to be 20. Okay. So as we're doing the project, then everybody involved needs to be thinking that so that when they come across something that might not be as expected, like, hey, turns out that everybody in the field to use Salesforce needs an iPhone. So if this is a company who can't afford to have everybody have an iPhone, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem that won't allow part of a sales team to actually, get the end result, the benefit. So we really, really want people to understand that, when you're doing a project, what you're really going for, and to do that, really need to set it up well. Otherwise, what happens is people put their tasks into a spreadsheet or something, or into a project management system. There are many. And as they're going along, they're like, oh no, we didn't think about this. And now we need to redecide that. And oh no, maybe we shouldn't be in Salesforce. Maybe we should be in this other thing like Infusionsoft or Entreport or some other CRM. If we don't, do that thinking up front, we will be confronted with awful choices later. We will waste a bunch of time and energy, and we definitely don't want to do that. So the thing about projects that I want everybody to, to have taken this 10 minutes to walk away with and know that you've got to be able to, as a leader, initiate a project by using a charter process to get clear on the outcomes, to get clear on the deliverables, to to talk about the things that are important in operating that project before you actually start putting tasks into a spreadsheet. Because if you start on the tasks without having done the thinking, you will waste a ton of time and resources and be super frustrated. So that's what I wanted to share today. To learn more about this episode's topic, pick up a copy of my book, The People Part, at your favorite book retailer or at anniehymanpratt.com.